Hello. Um, I just want to thank you for being here with me first, and then just say if you have ever wanted to go to Machu Picchu, this could possibly be your time, right? And what makes it your time? Okay. If Machu Picchu is not on your list, you would not be paying attention to this, right? If intimacy is not on your list of things that you want more of, you wouldn't be watching this. How did I link Machu Picchu and intimacy? Well, it's really easy because when you go on a journey, a spiritual journey, you get more connected to you. That's the whole thing of it. You get more connected to you and more connected to the divine. This trip, the temple is outside, so you get more connected to nature. This trip, the temple is your food because it's really simple. Let's face it, Peru is where quinoa is grown. Do we love quinoa? Yes. Potatoes, 422 kinds of potatoes, all right. Olives, avocados. So it's a really simple, yummy diet. But the diet that you're going to feed yourself on all levels, you will come back and you will have such better intimacy, meaning connective skills with everything in your life. Because you will, along the way, it's a really quiet place. And then beyond that quiet is vast. You feel the vastness. It's just like, oh my God. So who am I to take you on this trip? Well, for starters, this will be my third time going, and that's how much I love it. And that's how much I want to turn everybody else onto it. And Machu Picchu is amazing, but oh my God, trust me, the Sacred Valley, so much more vast. Machu Picchu is kind of like, oh my God, how did they do this? You know, and you're just like, whoa, it's on top of this mountain. How do they do it? And that's why you understand that people are like, extraterrestrials. The only way this happened was extraterrestrials. They didn't have lifts, cranes that were that tall that could get stuff up there. And when you meet the people there, you just realize that they live in this frequency all the time, and they're very deep and lovely. Not every one of them, but just a lot of them, just very, it's the simple being in the deep and living there. And you realize who's buying the land in the Sacred Valley and would tell you. Our guide told me this is not like something that mostly Americans have bought up most of the available land in the Sacred Valley, which is this fabulous valley that we stay in most of the time, right in between two of the Andes. Oh my God, it's incredible. So there's a reason for that, because we long for something more. We have enough to survive or thrive, but we know that there's more thriving to be done. And that's what my whole life has been about. I helped build spiritual communities all over Canada in the 70s and 80s and ran them, or they ran me. I mean, be truthful. It was quite a learning curve in your 20s and 30s, right? To be thinking you're running anything. But the fearlessness that took is what I've actually had to approach everything. So if you are ready to make a fearless leap in your life, then I'm really the one to help you. And if this trip is like, oh, I want to, but, don't but yourself anymore, right? Allow yourself to have this trip. This trip is amazing. It's just incredible. And I want to make that happen for you. I want to make it so that you can go. If you have this longing and desire to be on this trip and go, where we get to do rituals in all these places. On the last hangout, I talked about Morai, but I'll tell you again, it's an incredibly vast, amazing, delicious, incredible place. It's three, which is that, you know, that beautiful triangle, the strongest of all geometric forms. It's the three muses. It's the three aspects of the divine in almost every religion. The only difference between Christianity and other religions is they all have their own consorts. They're not left out all by themselves, men alone. So that triumvirate, there's 3 of these concentric spirals that spiral into the earth, right? And one of them is almost completely restored, the other 2 not. And one of those is the one that we use to go and do our rituals and our prayers and to experience. The reason that we do rituals and meditations and that at all these places is so that we can soak in that energy, so that we can bring that vastness back with us into our life. And Morai is one of my favorite places because you just feel this. But I'll tell you, even being in the car, driving places, you're just kind of like, I am here. I am here, dear one, as Hafiz would say. I am here. You can feel that I am here-ness then. The presence, the now. You will feel it. You will experience it so that you can bring that back in your DNA. Because the more that we feel the now, the here, the I am that I am, beyond the I am, then the more that you actually get to bring that back into your life. And what's more intimate than being present? What do you want from everyone in your life? That when they're with you, they're with you. They're not on their, I love when I see people at lunch and they're both here. It's like, it's seemingly easier to be here than here, but this is where the juice happens. This is where the transformation happens. This is where the transactions happen. And so if you come home and you have more vastness, more strength in your magnetic field, more empowerment, you bring that back into your relationship, more quietness, so that you can listen. Because I tell you, these mountains listen. They're like vibrating like this. You get to listen to them, but they listen to you. They have a vastness. And I'm not even a mountain girl. I'm an ocean girl. But I'm telling you, these mountains, mind-blowing. And I've been in the Himalayas, and I love them. But I have to say, when they say that the energy has moved, the Kundalini energy has moved from the Himalayas to the Andes, I have to say I feel that is true from being there. It's like, oh my goodness, it is incredible, just super incredible. So I just want to say to you, if you're thinking about Machu Picchu, it's been on your list, your life list. I don't like to call it a bucket list because a bucket list is like, what? Okay, your bucket's kind of interesting, but your life is so much more interesting. So if Machu Picchu and all these sacred places that I promise you when you go on other tours, you're not going to get to go to Tipon, and you're not going to get to go, to Morai. You might go to the Salt Flats. You might go to the zoo. I have to tell you, the zoo is so beautiful. It brings you back to innocence. It just takes you to innocence. I was like, a zoo? Who wants to go to a zoo? We don't even go to zoos here. But you get to feed llamas and alpacas and just watch them and watch the little babies frolicking. And oh my God, it's just divine. And there's so much more. I'm not even going to tell you about the best part of the zoo with the weaving and the dyes and it's just incredible. And we get to go to different ruins and feel the energies and see these storage lockers. You know that they didn't store their food in these storage lockers, but they were like these storage lockers way, way up this mountain across from where all of these ruins are. And you were like, what did they store up there? I'm not going to tell you the answer because I want you to come and experience it. And then you go, oh, okay, yes, all right. And the train ride up to Aguascalientes, which is where Machu Picchu is. It's the town that surrounds Machu Picchu. Incredible. It's just phenomenal. Okay, I've never been on a train ride like that before, and I've been on some pretty spectacular train rides, but nothing like this. And you get to sit, and it's got windows, and it's got the top, and you can look out and see these just, I can't even explain it to you, but all I can say is you're just like, oh my God, you're taking pictures, you're looking, and it just doesn't do it justice till you're in the frequency of it. That's the amazing beauty of it. You just feel the intimacy, and you like to start talking to people everywhere. I mean, that's the beauty of it. You get to talk to the most amazing people, because intimacy is about losing your inhibitions, and not losing your sexual inhibitions only. I mean, we think about intimacy sometimes as what you do before sex. But I have to tell you, it's so much more than that. It's how you are connected to everything. And the beauty of this trip is, all I can say is it's priceless. If it was $10,000, it would be worth it. But I want to make this possible for you. I want to make it so that you feel like it's possible. I also want to tell you that Machu Picchu is not going to be open forever. UNESCO wants to close it down completely and let it rest for at least 5 years. The people there who make their money and who have created, a whole town and everything are like saying, you can't do that to us. So what's probably going to happen is they're going to really cut down on the amount of people that get in and make it a lot more expensive. They've been saying they were going to do this, I think next year really is the year that it's going to happen. It could even be later this year, I don't know for sure, but I do know they've been promising, like, for the last few years that this is going to happen, and which will just mean that everything gets more expensive. The train ride will get more expensive. The bus rides will get more expensive. Everything will get more expensive. On this trip, everything except your dinner is included. And I have to tell you, at that altitude, you eat lunch at 2:30 in the afternoon, you don't really care about dinner much. We got together at dinner, but what people ate was minuscule, because it was just a time to get together and be with each other. Yeah, and there's a beautiful dining room in the Sacred Valley, this hotel we stay at. I also have to tell you, we stay at really nice places. The first time I went, and the first place we stayed was really nice, and then it got funkier and funkier, and I was kind of like, okay, we're not going to do that one anymore. And the Amazon, I've been down to Lake Titicaca twice. It was incredible. I had truly incredible experiences in places down, in Puno and on Lake Titicaca both times. But this time we're going to the Amazon, and I'm so excited. I am so excited to go to the Amazon. I'm so excited to take you there with me. We get to walk up on these walkways, way up with the birds and everything, and just get to be present and sleep up in trees. Well, not in the tree, in these things that they construct for us to stay in the. And the other great thing is that by supporting coming to the Amazon, it means that they will keep that part of the Amazon. As you know, they're cutting down the Amazon at just an insane rate. And it's one of the great oxygenators of our planet. So if you feel like you love to, connect with things, and you love to support things that save the earth, then you're really going to want to know that you can do that with this. And by coming and showing up and spending money, and, our trip pays for you to be there, you're supporting them keeping the Amazon, which is like, yes, thank you. Yes, keeping the Amazon, right? Keeping it pristine and lovely so that we can visit it, not hack it down so that they can make money from oil companies trying to come in and wanting to do that. So you get to make choices here. I want to invite you, if you're having any thoughts about this, or you go, oh my God, I so wish that I could do this. If you have any friends, I'm going to do a couple more hangouts. You can also send them. There's a place on my site. It's gurutej.com, gurutej.com/make-an-appointment. And just make an appointment to talk with me for a few minutes and ask me any questions that you could possibly have. And on this call, I did have the question and answer open, and then somehow I disabled it. I don't know what I did, but let me see if I can actually open it. Oh, now it says this feature is disabled. I don't want it disabled. I want it enabled. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask me any questions now. Or you can also, like I said, go to that gurutej.com/make-an-appointment and make an appointment and talk to me. I will say that your capacity to meditate down there is as good as any temple you're ever going to go to. What makes somewhere amazing to meditate in is the frequency. Usually in the temple or a church or whatever, it's how much chanting and meditation and prayer has been done in that place that holds that energy. But in these mountains, it's like everything. We call them Incas, but they are really Quechua. The tribe is Quechua. The king is Inca. And they had all these trails. And they did these amazing things. They built these little places, and they would store food and money and everything for people who would come along on this trade route that they needed, because they were all connected on this trade route. So they would take care of each other along this trade route. It's quite beautiful. And I have to say, when we'll do yoga as many days as possible as a group that we can, and you'll have time to yourself too, that you can explore out in the town and up in the hills. So in the morning we go out on a journey. I usually get back around 2 or so, and then you have time. And some days we do yoga, and some days it's just time to just be and soak in that frequency, and then talk about it at dinner and be with it and meditate. It's comes so simply there. I will just tell you, and we have time to shop. The beautiful thing about having our own trip is that we have our own guide, we have our own transportation, we have our own time frame. So if we decide that we want to stay at some place an hour longer, 2 hours longer, 15 minutes longer, we can do that. Whether it's shopping or whether it's we're having a really profound experience and we have no desire to leave a sacred site. Yes, and it starts from day one. As soon as we get everybody from the plane, we go to Tipon. So it's not like, okay, the first day is like getting acclimated. It's like, no, we get acclimated by being in this frequency. We do come down from Cusco because Cusco is really high, just so that you can come down a little bit and then slowly start going up to get acclimated to the altitude. But if you ever want a trip that's beautiful on all levels and intimate and that you're taken care of, everything is taken care of, like I said, except for your dinner. Financially, it's taken care of. You are taken care of. Your transportation, our guides, I take you through the rituals and the meditations. Everything is provided. The only thing you get to do is have profound transformational experiences that will add to your life, that you come back a more enriched, vast, incredible human being, that you bring that energetics and that frequency back with you so that you get to have that intimacy, because you've had this time of intimacy with the land and the frequency of these mountains, and you feel fed, and your food has fed you, and your meditations have fed you, and your journey and the playfulness that we experience. Our guide, Benjamin, he's lovely, lovely. I mean, I fell in love with him the first time. He wasn't our guide. I can't remember what he was. But anyway, I was like, do you do this? And he was like, yes. And so I've used him since then, because he's like part of the family. He gets us. He knows that we want to go to places and meditate and do that. It's not like just go in, tell us what it's about. He does. He tells us what it's about. And he knows a lot about the herbs and the flowers and stuff there. So we're going to get more in deep with that this time too, which I'm really excited about, because I love herbs. I love knowing about herbs and all of the flowering things and what they are and what they do. And, sometimes he has us like, pick this. Okay, we're going to do this and make tea out of it tonight. It's so great. And yes, there's great antidotes. Green tea, I find, for me, is better than the coca leaves, but the coca leaves down there work for people with altitude. And when you'll get a letter from me telling you everything to bring as soon as you register, and your release form. So then you'll be released to be with us. I'm looking so forward to having you. So remember, you can just go to the site, gurutej.com, go to events, Machu Picchu trip, and do it now. Just buy it. It's yours. Or you can have a conversation with me if you feel that would be much more suitable for you to converse. All right. Love you. Thank you. Bless you for being here with me. And I look forward to having you on this trip. Yay.